Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Our top story tonight, 5 young people have been taken to hospital and 4 horses have died in a horror crash in the early hours of this morning on the Batman Highway. It comes as a damning new report shows Tasmanian roads are some of the deadliest in the country.
So close to home when disaster struck.
At about 1:45 this morning, there was a single vehicle crash on the Batman Highway.
Returning from a Hobart race meet, a Ford Ranger towing a fully loaded horse float to Orwella crossed to the wrong side of the road, ploughing into a tree stump.
At this stage, it appears probably a fatigue would have been involved.
The driver, a 20-year-old Rowella woman, and 4 passengers were taken to Launceston General Hospital. An 18-year-old has been airlifted to Melbourne for further treatment. But the 4 horses on board couldn't be saved, 3 dying soon after the crash.
I'm advised that the owner of the horses attended prior to the vet arriving and unfortunately euthanised the other animal that was injured.
It's been another grim beginning to the year on our roads. There have been 3 fatalities already.
Absolutely appalling. It's twice the level of New South Wales and Victoria.
The Australian Automobile Association reports road deaths in Tasmania are the highest per capita of any state, second only to the Northern Territory and almost double the national average. A national safety strategy introduced last year hopes to reduce road deaths by half and serious injuries by a third by the end of the decade. So far, only New South Wales and South Australia are on track to meet that target.
We're open to any idea that will improve our road toll, take us to that zero target.
The RACT says there's no time to wait.
We have an unprecedented opportunity this year to do something really concrete because we've got the tools available to do it.
And calling for the government to implement 49 recommendations of an upper house inquiry into road safety. Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
A man accused of the Christmas Day stabbing murder of a Hobart midwife 2 years ago has fronted the Supreme Court for the first time. Darren Wake appeared via video link for the directions hearing. He's been remanded in custody and will reappear on March 27. There are fears for vulnerable Tasmanians living at the Hobart showgrounds who will be left with no permanent place to go from tomorrow. The state government has come under fire from the opposition for what it says is a lack of attention to the problem.
The government has known for more than a year that construction was going to be starting around about now, and as recently as a month ago they said they'd be finding a solution for the families who've been staying here at the showgrounds, but they've failed.
People can only take so much before they break, and so yeah, I think it has kept people alive. Yeah, but now this is closing down. It's just it seems to be going from bad to worse.
The Housing Minister has responded to the concerns, stating the households remaining at the site have either secured accommodation or are actively engaging with Housing Connect. He's urging anyone who needs assistance to reach out. Well, now to the high-powered weapon on the water, transforming the way Tasmania Police undertakes rescue operations. Versatile and fast responding, we've been given an exclusive look into the state-of-the-art technology powering the multi-million-dollar vessel.
Slick and supercharged, the newest member of our water fleet takes policing to the next level.
So if we've got people in the water, we need to get them as quickly as possible. We do have flotation aids and life rings and the like, so we can toss them to people.
Fitted out with all the tricks and tackling high speeds, Marine Service officers are behind the controls of the dauntless boat.
This has far greater capability than the previous first response vessel that we had here, in that it has a larger range, 300 nautical mile range, a greater top speed, about 45 knot top speed.
Unlocking capabilities below sea level, equipped with advanced infrared cameras and sonar technology.
We can actually then pick up heat signatures. We get little red flecks when things are hot. Yeah, great for searches, particularly when you're offshore.
Predominantly used for an immediate response to search and rescue call-outs.
We do occasionally have boats that are in distress. We've had several in the last month where EPIRBs have been activated way offshore.
Those throwing out a line also in their sights.
Safety gear's all good, you've got your jackets there, all current standard. We are unique so far as doing search and rescue work and also fisheries enforcement.
This vessel has been part of Tasmania's fleet for over a year now, and in that time it's managed to nab hundreds of people doing the wrong thing.
We try and be proactive and educate people if there are any minor discrepancies, but in major instances I'd say we've had quite a few that have involved this vessel.
Stepping into the new age for potentially life-saving outcomes. Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
Inspirational, dynamic and decent. That's how Tasmanians are remembering football legend John Devine after passing away aged 82. A courageous competitor, Devine lifted North Hobart from a wooden spoon to a premiership, transforming his players both on and off the field.
If there was ever a man with presence, it was John Devine, a lion of local football whose impact reached beyond the boundary line.
I idolised him and a lot of the North Hobart supporters did too.
Des Graham and Devine were joined at the hip at North Hobart. He would marvel at Devine's powerful skill and speech.
What he told us to do, we'd do it.
Born in Colac, Devine first made his name in the VFL, playing 118 games for Geelong, including the 1963 flag. But in 1967, he moved to North Hobart, taking the team from a wooden spoon to a premiership. Divine intervention indeed.
If somebody did something to one of us young blokes, John would rush over and say, yeah, you be careful, mate, I'm watching you. And so we knew he always had our back.
That same year, Mick Hawkins played alongside Devine in what became known as the goalpost final.
The crowd have come onto the ground, he's got to take his kick, and so they're going to have to get the crowd off.
Instead, fans tore down the goalposts and the state premiership against Wynyard was famously abandoned.
There was a lot of feeling, there was a lot of tension. John had the presence of mind to jump up on a table and say, now listen, just all quieten down there. He said, I want the doors closed, nobody's to leave here for half an hour, he said, until all this is settled down.
From North Hobart, Devine was inspirational, dynamic and decent, while Geelong described him as fearless, passionate and someone who will be sadly missed.
He made good citizens of people that probably might have gone the wrong side of the road. Anybody that got into strife, he was able to help.
Devine later became a publican and politician and had one last stint coaching Geelong, where he was treasured for his quarter-time theatrics. In the year 2000, John Devine's profound impact on North Hobart was given the ultimate recognition when he was named captain of the club's Team of the Century.
And there was one other thing he said, I don't go too much on the Robin business. He said, I might even change it to the Demons. So, give us a bit of spine.
A legacy he'd leave on the club forever. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
It might have been a long time in the works, but the Dove Lake viewing shelter is finally open to the public. The building's design allows for the structure to be fully camouflaged with its surroundings and pays homage to the traditional owners.
Welcoming good spirits and energy. The Dove Lake shelter officially open and filled with special touches honouring the traditional owners.
It's about the people coming here get to understand our deep connection to this place and to walk lightly on it, show respect for our country and understand that we are still here and this is part of us.
The state government consulting with the Aboriginal community to guide the planning.
We haven't done this well before, recognising that Aboriginal people have had an association with and have helped to shape this environment and its ecology over countless generations.
The project's key outcome to help restore the mountain back to its original beauty.
What was here, the world's ugliest car park in the most beautiful setting.
The master plan has been underway for some years and has already seen the completion of the visitor centre.
The opening of the Dove Lake viewing area complements the visitor centre. Some $27 million worth of investment in terms of the master plan.
This is the second part of the Cradle Mountain National Park master plan. The building has been designed to become part of the landscape, and in years to come it will become covered in the moss this national park is known for.
It's going to be fun watching that happen here and coming back here in 10 years' time to see all of the blonde timber turned silver and to see these concrete surfaces colonised by lichens, just like the glaciated rock faces around us.
The next phase of the master plan is underway with hopes to have a cable car business case to the federal government in the coming months.
A cableway to bring people from outside the park to this point without touching the ground, lightening our footprint even further It won't be within the view fields of people who are walking and moving through. It won't be noisy machinery in this environment, and it will enable people to travel in here silently, above the ground.
The alternative is expanding the road or creating a new road, and no one wants to see that through native vegetation in the World Heritage Area. So look, the best solution here is that it's done carefully, done full approvals that it needs to go through, as it is the long-term best fit for this site.
Ensuring to leave the mountain better than it was found. Talia Jordan, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's brightest students have been recognised for their dedication to learning at a ceremony at Hobart's Town Hall. The TASC Outstanding Achievement Awards celebrate statewide excellence in a diverse range of academic and vocational education and training studies. 58 teenagers acknowledged for their efforts, with the state's Education Minister congratulating them on a successful year.
Tasmania could snatch some early NBL silverware. 2 players have been named as finalists in the league's MVP awards. Sean McDonald for Most Improved Player and Rashard Kelly for Best Sixth Man. Winners will be announced next week. There was drama in today's Burnie International. Aussie Corey Gall had to retire from his match with Jake Delaney after suffering an injury in the second set. While third seed Max Purcell is currently locked in battle with wildcard Alex Bolt, he won the first set 6-2. Only 8 days after breaking the Tasmanian 200 metres running record, Jacob Despard has now bettered his time. He shaved nearly 0.2 of a second off his previous record, crossing the line at the ACT Athletics Championships in 20.59 seconds. He also won the 100 metres final in a personal best time.
Good evening. Hobart, Campania and Bushy Park all on our high today of 27 degrees. Launceston 26, Devonport and Burnie 22. Those readings to 3 p.m 2. A few sites did warm up after 3. Grove 26, Flinders Island 24, Lowhead and Friendly Beaches 23, St Helens 22, 21 today at Strawn and King Island. Cumulus cloud over the state today. We were told it's the fair weather kind of cumulus. The rainy weather kind of cumulus is bringing thunderstorms over the northern half of the country. A blanket of low cloud sits over the Bight and the southern ocean with a high pressure zone. Tomorrow the high to our west weakens as a cold front approaches Tasmania. A broad area of low pressure still over the eastern states. Winds 10 to 20 knot northwest to southwest, tending northeasterly in the afternoon, swells to 3.5 metres. Hobart a partly cloudy 25. Tomorrow 23 the top for Adventure Bay. Tarraleah 24 the maximum. Launceston 27 and partly cloudy. 23 for Devonport. Bit of cloud over Bridport. Fine though and 25 degrees. Burnie partly cloudy and 23. 22 the top for Strawn. Marrawar 21 degrees. And along the east coast mostly sunny. St Helens 24 along with Swansea, Whitemark on Flinders Island a high of 23 degrees. UV an extreme 11 as sunrise pushes out to 6:13 a.m. On Wednesday partly cloudy over the north, however showers elsewhere should extend statewide for a time in the afternoon. A few showers developing on Thursday as well, a bit later over Hobart. Decreasing somewhat on Friday but still a shower or two the outlook. Partly cloudy and 36 in Perth, 10 degrees cooler in Adelaide, partly cloudy for Melbourne and Canberra, a shower or two in Sydney and 27, a possible storm for Brisbane. 21 and partly cloudy in Hobart at the moment, sunny in Launceston and Devonport. That's the way it is right now, Kim. It's going to crack up later in the week. I was going to talk to my psychic about it, but she got the sack last week and she didn't see that coming.
Not bad for a Monday. Thank you, Merv. That is all your news for now. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good night.